Good morning, everybody. I'm Dan Pietrowski. I'm the general manager of the Omni Nashville Hotel. And at this time, I'd like to invite Reverend Lillian Hallstrom from Vanderbilt Pastoral Care to perform our invocation.
Let us pray. God of new beginnings, we gather this morning to celebrate the culmination and the opening of this beautiful new facility. We offer thanks for the time, the resources, the work, and the talent that went into the creation of this place. We pray that within these doors, people from both near and far will find rest, will find nourishment, education, and entertainment. And above all, it is our prayer that all who visit the Omni Nashville in our vibrant downtown will be blessed by the spirit of openness and warmth that is the hallmark of Nashville. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend. Wow, we made it. 27 months, 14 days ago, this was a parking lot. And today we're ready to open our doors on this landmark property. And I'd like to welcome, and it's great to see all of our distinguished guests, members of the Nashville business community, the civic community, and we're just so pleased everybody could join us. Governor Haslam, thank you. We're honored to have you here. Among us today are those who dream the dream of developing the Music City Center. On stage, we have Mayor Dean, Butch Spearden, and Marty Dickens. We want to thank you for having the vision, the imagination, and the ability to make this extraordinary project happen for the great city of Nashville. Also joining us this morning are the architects and artists, the designers and engineers, construction workers and managers, and so many others who have worked to turn our hopes into this tangible reality. To our construction partners, Brassfield and Gorey, who work day in and day out to complete this 21-story, 800-room hotel on time and on budget. Our architectural and design team, including HKS, Hill Glazer Studios, our interior designer, Looney and Associates, and as you'll see in a few minutes, did a great job capturing this distinct culture and character of Nashville throughout the design inside our building. We have countless others, many of you with us today, who have worked tirelessly, our colleagues at the Music City Center, the National Convention Center Authority, the National Convention and Visitors Corporation, and our partners for life at the Country Music Hall of Fame and Museum. On behalf of our corporate team in Dallas, our president, Mike Diedemeyer, our owners, TRT Holdings, and the entire Omni Nashville family, thank you for making today possible. Today's ceremony marks the culmination of a long process that began in 2010 when our metropolitan government selected Omni Hotels and Resorts as a development partner to be the headquarter hotel in conjunction with the Music City Center. From the day we first saw this opportunity, we knew it was going to be something special, Nashville being its global destination, and here we are today making that vision a reality. With the connection between the Omni and the Country Music Hall of Fame, Nashville will have a convention center headquarter hotel that embodies Music City, a destination unlike any other in this country. As you'll see shortly, the hotel, though, is anything but conventional. Our guests will know that they have truly experienced Nashville, whether they come for business or pleasure. Consistent with our commitment to embody the authentic character of the local community of all of our hotels, the Omni Nashville is a modern expression of the city's distinct culture and personality, incorporating natural materials, exposed steel, and regional limestone. The features are unique. We have locally inspired art throughout our 21 floors. We're going to deliver culinary fare reminiscent of the local dining traditions of Nashville and Middle Tennessee. And we believe this hotel will have a distinct Music City feel. Several hundred Nashvillians have joined our family over the last month. They've been working hard and enthusiastically in anticipation to prepare to receive you today. Omni is known for its award-winning personalized service, and we look forward to extending our hospitality to the thousands of business and leisure travelers who are going to be here for work and play. We've got an exciting day in store. We've arranged hotel tours, food samplings throughout the building, and a variety of entertainment options. We invite you to come inside and see for yourself what a magnificent addition we have to the Music City Center complex. At this time, we'd like to welcome Butch Spiriton to the stage from the Nashville Convention Visitor Bureau Organization.
I know y'all waiting for me to say something politically incorrect, but I'm going to refrain from that today. Thanks, Dan. It's an honor to be included at this moment and this time in this city to open this hotel. From the outset of attempting to develop the Music City Center, we said we needed a first-class headquarter hotel. When Omni came along, they said 4.5 stars. That sounds good, but exactly what does that mean? I'm sure that's nice. But what's 4.5 stars? Well, having had the privilege of being inside, I see what 4.5 stars is. And you all are about to see the next jewel in the crown of Nashville as a world-class destination. You have delivered a first-class hotel. You have captured the brand as well as anybody ever has, and we thank you for that. And it's key to continuing our momentum as a world-class destination. So thank you. We also felt like we couldn't do this if we didn't have the right sales partner. Omni has delivered on every level of partnering, not just with our staff, but with the convention center staff and with the rest of the hospitality industry. The only way we were able to get to the 1 million room night goal, the only way we were able to sustain the momentum that this city has is if we all work together. Omni has delivered on that level as well. Thank you. Finally, and maybe most importantly, Omni, your entire family, you believed in Nashville at a critical time. You committed, you invested, and most importantly, you delivered. So Mr. Rowling, Mr. Caldwell, Mr. Garcia, Mr. Santora, then I can go to Dan and Todd and the rest of the Omni team. Thank you. Thank you on behalf of the entire city of Nashville and most importantly, the Nashville hospitality industry. We're glad to have you as part of our family. And now, it's my pleasure. It's been I've been his sidekick, he's been my sidekick for about 10 plus years on this, the culmination of this project. None of it would have happened without his volunteer time and his commitment. So please welcome Chairman of the Convention Center Authority, Mr. Marty Dickens.
Thank you, Butch, and thank you, Dan. And good morning, Nashville. How are you doing? Can you believe this big, beautiful new hotel? Spectacular, isn't it? What a wonderful addition to our community, and what a spectacular finishing touch to the Country Music Hall of Fame and the Music City Center. The addition of the Omni Hotel to Nashville is an absolute game changer. This hotel has raised the bar, and it's just opening the doors today. Think about that, raising the bar. It makes our city an even greater destination of choice for people from all around the country and, in fact, all around the world. It's just a pleasure to be a part of something like this, because Nashville is hot. It is on fire. And the addition of the Omni only increases the heat on everybody who thinks they're competing with us. And so what a great pleasure that is. So it's so wonderful that the Omni senior team down here on the front row and up here on the stage and others that couldn't be here today decided they wanted to be a part of our community. They're not only investors in Nashville, they are citizens in our community, and every day they go about helping make this a better place for all of us to live. I want to thank you. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, senior team. Thank you, Omni, for believing in Nashville and for weaving yourself into the fabric that makes this the greatest city in America in which to live, work, and play. Let's give them a round of applause. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Bob Rowling, the chairman of TRT Holdings and Omni Hotels and Resorts.
Thank you, Marty. I also want to thank Governor Bill Haslam for coming this morning. We served together on the National Board of Young Life, so we've gotten to know each other over the last several years in that capacity. And it was just great when we started doing this hotel and he was elected as governor of your great state. That's been fun. And I want to thank Mayor Carl Dean. I'll talk a little bit more about him as well. And thank all of you for being here. What's happened in these two blocks is transformational, I think, for the city and obviously for the state as well. The Music City Center and the Country Music Hall of Fame and the hotel represented investment over $1 billion just in the last couple of years. The hotel component, when we first started negotiating this, it was really, I think it was 2009 when we first started talking to the city, and I think if any of you will think back to what things were like in 2009, it was a scary situation. We didn't know if the world was going to exist the next day. Some mornings when we got up and Lehman Brothers was closing and the banks were shutting down, and it was a really, really scary time. And during our negotiations with the city, particularly with the mayor, we said, you know, if we build this isn't going to be a typical convention center hotel, because that's not what we do as Omni. And I'm not knocking any of the brands that do that, but we just didn't want to build an 800-room box with everything typical, what you'd expect anywhere you go. And we promised the mayor and we promised the city that if we committed to this thing, it would be spectacular. It would be special. It would be a game changer. And I think when you all walk through this place, you're going to be shocked. I'm shocked. It turned out so spectacular, I can't tell you how great it was, how great it is. We have 800 rooms, about 80,000 feet of meeting space. The food and beverage facilities, from the kitchenos to bar lines, which is the bar that opens up onto the Fifth Avenue, and to the Bob's Steak and Chop House, which I think you will find will be the absolute best steaks in town, are all spectacular. And let me tell you a little bit about the Omni culture. I tell people that we're in several different businesses. We're in the energy business. We own Gold's Gyms, but Omni has developed a culture that's almost, it's hard to manufacture. It's a caring for people. It's headed by I don't take credit for that. It's headed by our management team, who have just an incredibly special touch. I was at the employee rally before this, and I listened to Joey Rothschild tell 600 new associates that we wanted the 8 hours they spend at work during their day to be the best 8 hours of their day. And that's our goal. We want to treat our associates Well, we have a thing called the trilogy, and we really live by the trilogy. And what the trilogy says is that the guest and the associate and the owner all have equal value. One does not trump the other. Now, sometimes I think I get the short end of the deal, honestly. but we really do. We preach this trilogy, and so to our 600, almost 700 new associates, I want to say welcome, and we will stick by our promise to you to train you, to nurture you in your career, and to care for you. This hotel is going to be a screaming success. Already we have almost 400,000 group room nights on the books, which is amazing. I mean, simply amazing. And as Marty said, Nashville's on fire. You know, I live in Dallas, and the only city that I can compare to Nashville right now is Austin, because Austin's on fire as well. But Nashville, we are so excited to be here. When you think back when we started this hotel, so many good things have happened in this city and in the economy here in Tennessee, and we are so thankful to be here. And with 400,000 group rooms on the books, we're in a great position. I want to start saying a few thank yous. Dan stole a lot of my thunder already, but I'm going to repeat a few. It's dangerous to say thank you because there's so many people to thank, and there's not enough time up here to do that. But I want to also thank the construction team, Brasfield and Gorey, Jim Gorey. You guys did a great job. Thank you. This building's spectacular. HKS, our architect team, Nunzio's here, Mike Menifee, you guys, thank you for the job you guys did here. Jim Looney and Looney and Associates. I started coming here when we started doing this thing. We built a couple of model rooms over in the Pinnacle building, is that what it's called? And we came to that thing, we looked at these model rooms half a dozen times. I mean, we tweaked everything from, end tables to the couches to everything in it. It was just a labor of love. But Jim, you guys did a great job, thanks. I want to thank the Omni management, not just the corporate, but I want to thank especially, before I get to that, the Omni construction team, Joe Satkamp, Scott Dillon, Britt Cimarelli, there are a bunch of you that the construction team was unbelievable. It was on time, on budget. I'll tell you that's unusual. I want to thank the Omni management team, particularly the corporate team, who I'm not going to name, but Dan Pietrowski, who's been with us for a number of years. He moved here from running our Fort Worth hotel. He's been here for almost a year now, and I don't know if you all know how much trouble it is to open something like this. They said a minute ago, in a couple of hours, this thing's going to open. It's going to be open 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, and it will never shut. And to get all the pieces in place is amazing. Dan, thank you. I want to thank Todd Rodermill and the sales and marketing team for loading this thing up. They really set this thing up spectacularly. Thank you, Todd, and all your sales and marketing team as well. And finally, I want to thank the city of Nashville. Rich Riebling, I haven't seen Rich. I think he's maybe here today. Not sure, but we did a lot of negotiating with him and Marty, Greg Hinote. But most of all, I want to thank the mayor. The mayor was very involved in this from the very beginning. He wanted to see, the city was in a bit of a predicament because the Music City Center was under construction. And really, there wasn't a site for a hotel. And the city needed the hotel, and he got involved. He said, we got to have a hotel, and he pushed this thing forward. And so, Mayor, I want to not only introduce him, but I want to thank him for everything he did to make this happen.
Well, good morning, everyone, and it is great to be in Sobro for another milestone ribbon-cutting ceremony. I want to recognize some of the elected officials with us here today. We have my good friend, Senator Thelma Harper. Thelma, it's always great to see you. Representative Jason Powell, Councilman and State Representative Bo Mitchell, Council Lady Karen Johnson, Council Lady Devette Blaylock, Councilmember Buddy Blaker, Council Lady Karen Bennett, and Erica Gilmore, whose district we're in. Thank you all for being with us. When we opened the Music City Center across the street on May 1st, I said, we're not just opening the doors of a new downtown convention center, we're opening a new world of opportunity for Nashville's hospitality and tourism industry. After all, that is why we built the building. It was an investment in ourselves, and this investment will pay dividends for many, many years to come. I want to reiterate the point as we open doors to another key element of our convention center campus today. Standing here with Governor Bill Haslam, Omni Hotel executives, and key leaders in our hospitality industry, we are celebrating more than just a new building or a new downtown hotel. We're celebrating a new phase in the growth of Nashville's #2 private employer, which is the very reason we undertook this project, to create jobs and to grow our local economy. The construction of this hotel in the Music City Center created thousands of jobs at a time they were greatly needed. And I want to applaud the Omni team in not just meeting the 20% goal we set for small, minority, and women-owned business participation in the construction of this hotel, but far exceeding that goal by more than double, in fact. In addition to having over 40% DBE participation, the Omni team went even further with its commitment to spending construction dollars with local businesses. 50% of the total construction budget was spent locally. Now that the doors are open on this building and we're ready to open it to the public, more than 650 individuals are employed here. That's 650 new jobs in the most dynamic part of our downtown. In 2010, when we first announced that Omni would be constructing this hotel, we said it would create at least 300 permanent jobs, with at least 200 of those Davidson County residents holding those jobs. Of the 650 jobs that have been created, over 450 have been filled by Davidson County residents. The job creation from this project is worth celebrating alone. But when you stop and think about the economic impact of this entire convention center campus, which is only magnified by the hotel's integration into the Country Music Hall of Fame and Museum. When we did a feasibility study for the Music City Center in 2010, our consultants projected that spending generated by a new downtown convention center would create 1,500 new hospitality sector jobs. Well, there's one thing we know about our consultants' numbers: they were extremely conservative. Already, the tourism-related revenues that are paying for the Music City Center have come in more than $20 million ahead of our consultants' projections. With the opening of the Omni Nashville Hotel, we expect that trend to continue. And so we have good reason to believe that the overall impact of this one-of-a-kind convention center campus this one-of-a-kind convention center campus will have on the continued growth of tourism in our city will be beyond what anyone predicted. I believe in 10 or 20 years from now, Nashvillians will look back at our decision to make this critical investment as a turning point, a catalyst for taking one of our largest industries to a whole new level. And just like we look back at the investments made before us and the work we have done to build upon them, our city will know an even bigger, even better hospitality industry and an even better, more vibrant downtown because of the investments we've made. Along those lines, I want to say a special word of thanks to Bob Rowling for recognizing the potential of Nashville in choosing to make this major investment here. While the city was happy to partner with you and your team, it was your decision to make a $268 million private investment in Nashville, in the depths of the recession, no less, that made this headquarters hotel for the Music City Center a reality. And as Bob mentioned, the hotel arrangement came after we began construction on the Music City Center. And if you ever heard that phrase, the weight of the world on your shoulders, I recall vividly meeting with Bob in the conference room in my office and working through the final agreement about Omni going forward. And I can tell you that when I left that meeting, I truly understand what having the weight of the world removed from your shoulders felt like. It was a great day. So Bob, thank you for your confidence in us and your foresight to see the potential that we saw in Nashville as a unique tourist destination. Since the Music City Center opened in just the months of July and August, we have already hosted 68 events with a total of 40,000 attendees and an economic impact of $21 million. In the months and years ahead, those numbers are only going to get better. So thank you again to Omni, to Butch's team at the Convention and Visitors Corporation, to Marty Dickens and the other members of the authority, and to Charles Stark and his team. Many people have been part of making our new downtown convention campus an early success. But before I close, I want you to take a mental walk with me, starting at the Country Music Hall of Fame and Museum, one of our country's great cultural institutions. After touring the museum, you will be able to walk directly into the Omni Hotel without ever leaving the building. You cross Fifth Avenue and you can attend a convention at the Music City Center. From there, you head to Bridgestone Arena, which is undergoing its own transformation as a result of these new projects, and will one day, perhaps starting on Thursday, will be on the course to host a Stanley Cup playoff. Take a right on Broadway and you'll hear music pouring from the row of honky-tonks which form one of the nation's most unique entertainment districts. And Gaylord Entertainment's investments in the famed Ryman Auditorium and 2nd Avenue's Wild Horse Saloon have created that incredible energy that makes our downtown so special. And then you add in the Symphony Center and the Frisk Museum. Then, in the not too distant future, you'll be able to cross into the Gulch on a pedestrian bridge, landscaped to feel like a park space of its own. You'll be able to shop or have dinner in the Gulch. Consider that whole experience, and I know I'm biased here, but I guarantee we have the most special, the most unique, the most compelling convention center experience in the country. With the opening of the Omni, Hotel today, this mental walkthrough is finally becoming a reality, and it's only going to get better. So thank you all for joining us today, and now it's my honor to welcome my friend and the top leader on economic development in our state, Governor Bill Haslam, to share a few words.
Thank you, Mayor. You know, in hindsight, everything looks easy. Today, when, as Marty said, Nashville is hot and convention center's built, it's easy to look at investments and say, well, of course that should have happened. But it wasn't an of course at the time, and the reason that we're standing here today, I think, is because of some remarkable leadership and a willingness to put capital at risk by a group of people. I want to thank two different groups of people. Let me start with the mayor. Mayor, your vision for the Music City Center, your vision for this hotel, your willingness to do what you needed to do to work it out, I think is extraordinary leadership, and I don't think any of us take that for granted, and all of us are grateful for that, and I think we will be for a long time. Butch and Marty, thank you all. You all have labored long and hard to get us here. Again, sometimes it's easy to take it for granted. I'm a fairly new resident of Nashville, been here almost 3 years, and it's easy to say, well, there's just such a momentum here, but it's maybe easier to not realize all of the work that happened to make that momentum reality. So on behalf of a lot of us, thank you very, very much for doing that. And finally to Omni, and as Bob said, he and I have gotten to know each other, and I say this all the time, jobs are created when people put capital at risk. And your willingness to put a significant amount of capital at risk here has created jobs that has maybe even a bigger impact than what you might realize. When Omni decided to come here, it meant something because they're a company that does two things. I think they do things big and they do things right. And that helps us in everything we're trying to build, but maybe helps in a bigger way, and I'll end with this. You know, in Tennessee, we don't have an income tax. Now, some people might think that's great, some people maybe not so great, but that's the reality. So the reality is that we live and die as a state off of sales tax that's generated. And sales tax gets generated when people are willing, like I said, to make an investment, and other folks are willing to go buy a product there. And your willingness to make an investment and Nashville's commitment to having a product that's worth buying means that the state will benefit from that. And we'll be able to pay teachers more and help serve families more and help serve those who need our help in a big way. So on behalf of a whole lot of Tennesseans who aren't here, thank you to the leadership of Metro Nashville, and thank you to Omni for having the confidence to invest in here. Like I said, the impact is far greater than maybe you'll ever know. Thanks.
Thank you, Governor. And again, thank all of you for being here and joining us on this momentous occasion. We're just going to ask if you kindly remain in your seats. We're going to ask the gentleman behind me to join me at the ribbon for the ribbon cutting, and we'll count that down from 5 and then welcome you into our home in the new living room here in Sobro.